You Can Win by Shiv Khera. Hello listeners, take a moment, pause everything around you and think about this. Why do two people with almost the same skills, same opportunities and even the same background end up living completely different lives? One rises, grows and achieves success, while the other struggles, complains and stays stuck. What creates this difference? Is it luck, talent, or something deeper? According to Bai, the real difference lies in something we often ignore: our attitude. Attitude is not just a word, it is the lens through which you see the world. It shapes your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your results. A positive attitude doesn't mean everything around you is perfect. It simply means you choose to respond in a better way, even when things are not in your favor. Think about it. When something goes wrong, what is your first reaction? Do you blame others, complain, and give up? Or do you look for solutions, learn from the situation, and move forward? This small difference in reaction creates a huge difference in life outcomes. People with a negative attitude often see problems in every opportunity. They focus on what they don't have, what went wrong, and why things are unfair. Slowly, this thinking becomes a habit, and this habit turns into a mindset that limits growth. On the other hand, people with a positive attitude see opportunities in every problem. They believe they can improve, they can learn, and they can win. But here's the truth: attitude is not something you are born with. It is something you develop. Your environment, your experiences, and the people around you influence it. But at the end of the day, it is your choice. You can choose to stay negative, or you can choose to change. And change starts with awareness. The moment you start observing your thoughts, your reactions, and your behavior, you begin to understand your attitude. From there, you can start making small shifts, replacing complaints with gratitude, replacing fear with belief, and replacing excuses with action. Remember, your attitude is like a magnet. It attracts similar experiences into your life. If you constantly think negatively, you will notice more negativity around you. But if you train your mind to focus on possibilities, growth, and solutions, your life will slowly start changing in that direction. So before you try to change your situation, your results, or even your goals, ask yourself one simple question: what is my attitude right now? Because once your attitude changes, everything else begins to change with it, and that is where the journey of winning truly begins. Now think about this. Have you ever felt like you are capable of doing more, achieving more, becoming more, but something inside you keeps holding you back? That invisible barrier is not lack of talent, not lack of opportunity. It is often a lack of self-esteem and confidence. Inbiters explains that the way you see yourself determines the way the world sees you. If you don't believe in your own worth, how can you expect others to believe in you? Self-esteem is simply how much value you give to yourself. It is the voice inside your head that constantly talks to you. And here's the problem: most people have a negative inner voice. It tells them, you are not good enough, you will fail, others are better than you. Over time, this voice becomes so strong that people start accepting it as truth. But confidence is not something magical that only a few people are born with. It is built step by step. It comes from small wins, from keeping promises to yourself, and from taking action even when you feel scared. There is also a big difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence says, I can do it. Arrogance says, only I can do it. Confidence builds you and others around you, while arrogance slowly destroys relationships and growth. True confidence is quiet, strong, and based on self-belief, not on showing off. One of the most powerful ways to build confidence is by changing your self-talk. Start noticing how you speak to yourself. If you constantly criticize yourself, you are weakening your own foundation. Instead, replace those thoughts with constructive ones. Not fake positivity, but realistic encouragement. I may not know everything yet, but I can learn. Another important thing is to face your fears. Confidence does not come before action. It comes after action. The more you avoid things that scare you, the weaker you feel. But the moment you start taking small steps, even if you fail, you begin to grow stronger. Also, stop comparing yourself to others. Everyone is on a different journey. When you compare, you focus on what you lack. When you focus on your own progress, you build confidence naturally. Remember, every successful person you see today once doubted themselves. The only difference is they did not let those doubts control their actions. So if you truly want to grow, start working on your self-esteem, respect yourself, believe in your ability to improve. Take small actions every day, because the moment you start trusting yourself, the world will start trusting you too. And that is how real confidence is built, from within, step by step. Let me ask you something. If you had a chance to achieve success quickly by taking a shortcut, but you knew it was dishonest, would you take it? Maybe no one would find out. Maybe you would still get ahead. But deep inside, what would that make you become? Marx makes one thing very clear. True success is not just about what you achieve, but about who you become in the process. And that is where values and character come into play. Values are the principles you choose to live by: honesty, integrity, respect, responsibility. Character is how consistently you follow those values, even when no one is watching. Anyone can act good when there is pressure or when people are observing. But real character is revealed in private moments when you have a choice between what is easy and what is right. Today, many people are focused only on short-term success. They want quick results, fast money, instant recognition. And sometimes they are willing to compromise their values to get there. But the truth is, success built on weak values does not last. It may look attractive from the outside, but it slowly collapses from within. Think about trust. It takes years to build, but only seconds to break. Whether it is in friendships, family, or professional life, people trust those who are consistent in their behavior. When your words match your actions, you build credibility. And credibility is one of the strongest foundations of long-term success. Character also shapes your decisions. When you have strong values, decision-making becomes easier. You don't get confused between right and wrong because your principles guide you. Without values, people often feel lost, influenced by others, or pressured by situations. Another important thing to understand is values are not tested in easy times. They are tested when things are difficult. When you are under pressure, when you are tempted, when you feel like giving up, that is when your character truly shows. Building strong values is not a one-time effort. It is a daily practice. It comes from being honest in small things, keeping your promises, taking responsibility for your actions, and treating others with respect. These small actions, repeated over time, create a strong character. Remember, skills may get you an opportunity, but character decides how far you will go. People may admire talent, but they respect integrity. So as you move forward in life, don't just focus on success. Focus on becoming a person who deserves success. Because when your values are strong, your success becomes meaningful, stable, and long-lasting. And that is the kind of success that truly matters. Now imagine this. You are working hard every single day, staying busy, putting in effort, but still not reaching anywhere meaningful. Have you ever felt that? Like you are moving, but without direction. That's exactly what life looks like without clear goals. Itsu emphasizes that successful people don't just work hard, they work with clarity. They know where they are going. And that clarity comes from setting goals. A goal is not just a wish. It is a clear, defined target that gives direction to your efforts. Many people say, "I want to be successful," but what does that actually mean? Without a clear definition, your mind stays confused and your actions become scattered. There are two types of goals you need to understand: short-term and long-term. Short-term goals keep you motivated daily. They give you quick wins and build momentum. Long-term goals give you vision. They define the bigger picture of your life. When both are aligned, your journey becomes powerful and focused. One of the simplest yet most effective habits is writing your goals down. When you write, your thoughts become clear. It is no longer just an idea in your head. It becomes a commitment. And once something is written, your mind starts working towards it more seriously. Another powerful technique is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving your goal. Feel the success, see the result, experience the moment. This is not just imagination, it is mental preparation. When you visualize repeatedly, your brain starts believing that it is possible, and your actions start aligning with that belief. But here's the challenge: distractions. In today's world, it is very easy to lose focus. Social media, comparison, negative people, and even self-doubt can pull you away from your path. That is why staying focused is a skill you must develop. Remind yourself daily why you started. Keep your goals in front of you. Also, understand that goals are not achieved overnight. There will be delays, failures, and moments of doubt, but that does not mean you stop. It means you adjust, learn, and continue. Consistency matters more than speed. One more important thing: your goals should be realistic, but also challenging. If they are too easy, you won't grow. If they are too unrealistic, you may lose motivation. Find that balance where your goals push you to become better every day. Remember, without goals, effort is just random activity. But with goals, every step has meaning. So take a moment and ask yourself, what exactly am I working towards? Because the moment you gain clarity, your energy, your focus, and your direction will completely change. And that is when progress truly begins. Let's be honest for a moment. How many times have you felt extremely motivated to start something new? Maybe a goal, a habit, a plan, and after a few days that motivation just disappeared. You felt excited in the beginning, but slowly everything faded. This happens to almost everyone, and that's because motivation alone is not enough. In Diakars explains a powerful truth: motivation may start the journey, but discipline is what keeps you going. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes depending on your mood, environment, or situation. You might feel motivated after watching a video, listening to a speech, or thinking about your goals. But what happens when you don't feel like doing the work? What happens on the days when you are tired, distracted, or simply not in the mood? That is where self-discipline comes in. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the ability to stay committed to your actions regardless of your emotions. There are two types of motivation: external and internal. External motivation comes from outside sources: rewards, recognition, pressure, or fear. It can push you for a short time, but it doesn't last long. Internal motivation, on the other hand, comes from within, from your purpose, your values, and your desire to grow. This is stronger and more sustainable. But even internal motivation is not enough if you don't build habits. Success is not about doing something big once. It is about doing small things consistently. And consistency is created through discipline. One of the biggest enemies of discipline is procrastination. You know what you need to do, but you keep delaying it. You tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll do it later." But later often turns into never. The way to overcome this is simple. Start small. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take action now, even if it's just a small step. Another important thing is creating a routine. When you turn actions into a daily habit, you don't have to rely on motivation anymore. It becomes automatic. Just like brushing your teeth, you don't need motivation for it, you just do it. Also, remove distractions. Your environment plays a huge role in your discipline. If you're surrounded by things that pull your attention away, staying consistent becomes harder. Create a space that supports your goals. Remember, successful people are not always motivated. They are disciplined. They show up every day, do the work, and stay consistent, even when it's boring, even when it's difficult. So stop waiting to feel motivated. Instead, train yourself to take action regardless of how you feel. Because in the end, it's not motivation that creates success. It's discipline that turns your efforts into results. And once you master discipline, nothing can stop your progress. Now think about this. Have you ever noticed how two people can face the exact same situation, yet react completely differently? One sees a problem and feels defeated. The other sees the same problem and treats it like a challenge. The situation is the same, but the mindset is different, and that difference changes everything. Inpad explains that your thoughts are powerful. They are not just random ideas in your head. They directly influence your actions, and your actions shape your results. There is a simple cycle. Thoughts lead to actions, and actions lead to outcomes. If your thinking is negative, your actions become weak or hesitant. and when your actions are weak, your results reflect that. But when your thinking is positive and focused, your actions become stronger, and your chances of success increase. Now, positive thinking does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing a constructive way to deal with reality. It means asking, "What can I learn from this?" instead of saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" Many people get stuck in negative thinking patterns without even realizing it. They focus on their past failures, compare themselves with others, and constantly doubt their abilities. Over time, this creates a mindset where they expect failure, even before trying. The good news is, your mindset can be changed. It is not fixed. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Notice when you are being negative, when you are doubting yourself, or when you are overthinking. The next step is replacement. You cannot just remove negative thoughts, you have to replace them. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," shift it to, "I may find it difficult, but I can improve." This small shift creates a big difference in your approach. Another important factor is your environment. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the conversations you have all influence your mindset. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, it becomes harder to stay positive. So choose your environment wisely. Also, learn to handle failure in a positive way. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. Instead of feeling discouraged, use it as feedback to improve. Remember, your mind is like a garden. If you don't take care of it, weeds will grow automatically. Negative thoughts are those weeds. Positive thinking is the habit of consciously planting better seeds, thoughts of growth, belief, and possibility. So start training your mind, because once your thinking changes, your actions change. And when your actions change, your life begins to change as well. That is the true power of a positive mindset. Let me ask you something. No matter how talented, hardworking, or intelligent a person is, can they truly succeed alone? The answer is simple: no. At some point in life, your growth, your opportunities, and even your success depend on how well you deal with people. Indeed, he highlights that interpersonal skills are just as important as technical skills. You might be great at what you do, but if you don't know how to communicate, connect, and build relationships, your progress becomes limited. The first and most important skill is communication. And communication is not just about speaking, it is also about listening. In fact, good listeners often build stronger connections than good speakers. When you truly listen to someone, you make them feel valued, and people always remember how you make them feel. Another key element is respect. Every person wants to be respected, regardless of their position or background. When you treat others with genuine respect, you naturally create trust. And trust is the foundation of every strong relationship, whether it's personal or professional. Empathy is another powerful skill. It means trying to understand things from the other person's point of view. Instead of reacting quickly or judging someone, take a moment to understand their situation. This not only improves your relationships, but also reduces unnecessary conflicts. Now, let's talk about criticism. Many people struggle with handling criticism. Some take it personally and feel hurt, while others become defensive. But criticism, when taken in the right way, can help you grow. The key is to separate your ego from the feedback. Ask yourself, is there something I can learn from this? If yes, use it to improve. At the same time, learn how to give feedback to others in a constructive way. Don't criticize to hurt. Guide to improve. The way you communicate your thoughts can either build someone up or break their confidence. Building strong relationships also requires consistency. You can't be kind one day and rude the next. People trust those who are consistent in their behavior. Small actions like keeping your word, being honest, and showing appreciation make a big difference over time. Also, avoid negativity like gossip, jealousy, and unnecessary comparison. These habits slowly damage relationships and create a toxic environment. Instead, focus on supporting others, celebrating their success, and growing together. Remember, Your network is not just a group of people. It is a reflection of your behavior and attitude. The way you treat others determines the kind of people you attract in your life. So if you truly want to grow, don't just work on your skills, work on your people skills. Because in the end, success is not just about what you achieve alone. It's also about how many people you grow with along the way. And that is what makes success meaningful. Now think about this. What truly separates those who succeed in life from those who keep trying but never quite reach their potential? Is it intelligence, luck, or some hidden advantage? The truth is, success is not a one-time event. It is a continuous journey of growth, learning, and persistence. Barnes emphasizes that winning is not about never failing. It is about never giving up. Every successful person you see today has faced failure, rejection, and setbacks. The difference is, they chose to learn instead of quitting. Failure is often misunderstood. People see it as an end, but in reality, it is feedback. It tells you what doesn't work and pushes you to improve. When you start looking at failure as a teacher rather than an enemy, your entire perspective changes. You stop fearing mistakes and start using them as stepping stones. Another important principle is taking responsibility. It is easy to blame circumstances, people, or bad luck when things go wrong. But real growth begins when you take ownership of your actions. When you accept responsibility, you gain control. And when you have control, you can make changes. Persistence is also a key factor. Success rarely comes quickly. It requires patience, consistency, and the ability to keep going even when results are not visible. There will be times when you feel like quitting, when nothing seems to work. But those are the moments that test your commitment. At the same time, growth requires learning. The world is constantly changing, and if you stop learning, you stop growing. Make it a habit to improve yourself through reading, observing, and gaining new skills. The more you learn, the more opportunities you create for yourself. Also, surround yourself with the right people. Your environment plays a huge role in your growth. When you are around people who are positive, driven, and focused, you naturally start adopting similar habits. But if your environment is negative, it can pull you down without you even realizing it. Remember, success is not a destination where everything becomes perfect. It is a process of becoming better every day. Small improvements, repeated consistently, create big results over time. So keep learning, keep improving, and most importantly, keep going. Because the journey of growth never really ends, and that is what makes it powerful. If you found this helpful and want more such powerful audiobooks and life-changing lessons, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel Richmind Audiobook. Stay connected, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.